In this video, I'm ranking all of the online marketing gurus from scammer to GOAT, starting with Iman Gadzhi. So Iman started extremely young, and I know a lot of people hate him, but he's built a course empire. He's invested in WAP. He's extremely charismatic, and you cannot deny the kid knows what he's doing. The guy's only like 23 or 24. So there are many people in this video that are going to hate on him. And while I'm saying that he is... I get a lot of people in the comments saying the guy is a scammer. It may come out that that is the case. Who knows? However, I have a soft place in my heart because Iman's VSL funnel got me into the agency space. And so I will be somewhat forever grateful. And so I could see him being like, he is no marketing genius. He knows how to get attention online and direct it and hire really good people. And so as far as a guru is concerned, I think we can put him safely in the B tier. Okay? Next up, we have the man himself, Gary V. So Gary is one of the OGs, and many of you have probably seen his videos where he talks about the future of tech is going to be this or AI, or do you know how many people are going to be making $50,000 from their bedroom? But the guy makes so many predictions that I think eventually you're bound to be right? So I'm a fan of Gary V. I've never really gotten a ton of value from his content. He does put out a ton of stuff, though. And so if I was to rank him and just sort of pull numbers out, like there's no way that he's GOAT or A tier. He does run a legitimate, massive business, but as far as a guru is concerned, I've not learned a ton from him, so I'm going to pop him in C. Forgive me, Gary. Then we've got the boy, Sam Ovens. So this is an interesting one because Sam, excuse me, is a New Zealander like myself. So, of course, I'm going to have a soft spot for Sam. And his coaching program back in the day basically spawned all of these gurus. And so it's difficult to have some of these gurus, including Iman Gadzhi, without Sam Ovens. His consulting.com business, which now Iman has purchased, was one of the most prolific, if not the most prolific programs back in the day. His mindset course is second to none. And so I think in the last couple of years, Sam has flip-flopped a little bit on the monk-like discipline, the wake up, grind, don't stop, monk mode sort of mentality. And he's let himself slip a little bit. And in recent podcasts, he's talked about how he was so hardcore about that stuff, he's kind of taken a bit of a more balanced approach. And so I still think that qualifies him to be a GOAT. No, like the very fact that a lot of the people on this list would not exist without Sam Ovens, to me, means that the guy is a GOAT, the GOAT, and one of the GOATs, one of the greatest of all time. And he's created such a fantastic platform in school. And so this platform has already changed my life. There's 4,500 plus business owners, entrepreneurs, and Hormozi fans inside this group, the Dopamine Digital Free School group. So I highly suggest if you are not in this group, you need to join. First link in the description. I'm going to be leaving all the Miro boards, all of the playbooks that I've broken down are all in here with all of the resources that you won't find anywhere else. So make sure you're in here. We've got people who are hiring from this group. We've got people who are finding jobs from this group. It's pretty incredible. So if you're not in the group, what are you doing? Speaking of school. All right. Now we have Dan Locke, the man, the man who makes FU money. This is an interesting one because my experience with this guy is a little bit mixed. So back in the day, I was selling $99 handstand courses, and then we sort of realized that the unit economics of that is ridiculous. And then we came across Dan Locke. People pointed us in the direction of Dan, and he's talking about how you don't need to take the same thing and then charge 10 grand for it or something. And high ticket. And it was such a hard mental hurdle for me to get over in order for me to charge thousands of dollars for an information product because of all the limiting beliefs that I had, right? For no other reason. And I think he's a really interesting character. I love the way he dresses. It's not something I'd ever I like. I'd much prefer the Iman Gadzhi old money, but you can't knock a man for wearing a bright red velvet suit. However, I have heard whispers that this man has done some untoward business practices, and so he is going in the D column. Next up, we have Ali Abdaal. I think the guy is just a dude who had a dream and he started making YouTube videos, right? I don't know too much about him. I wouldn't call him much of a guru. He gets a lot of hate online some reason, and I'm not entirely sure why. I think it's because he started free, or maybe it's the frame that he has when he presents stuff, but he doesn't even pitch his YouTube coaching course. And I don't know if I'd call him a guru. I haven't learned a ton from the guy, so we're going to pop him in C tier. Next up, we've got Charlie Morgan. Papa Charlie. And so I think I'm going to put Papa Charlie Morgan inside of the A tier. A lot of people give him flack for being a carbon copy of Sam Ovens. I do think occasionally he gives his own perspective and nuance, and the guy is an absolute maniac entrepreneur who works his behind off, so much so that he's sort of reset the bar for what burnout is, because I thought I was burning out, and then I listened to some of his videos and I'm just like, I'm not even close to the sort of mental breakdowns that this guy has experienced. So he's super young. I think he's incredibly intelligent, and he doesn't care what you think, and he doesn't put on a show. He just kind of tells it how it is, and so I think that causes a lot of people to be like, oh, the guy is an arrogant prick or something like that, right? I can see that, but he doesn't care. He doesn't care about you. He couldn't care less. I think he's A tier. We got Tai Lopez. Mr. Here I Am in My Garage. So I think a lot of you guys are going to call him a scammer. He had a couple of run-ins. And most recently, I'm just reading my notes here. On September 25th, 2025, the SEC filed a suit in Miami federal court charging Lopez and a few others for running a $112 million Ponzi scheme. And so he was a marketing legend that he even, when he launched a NFT project which allowed you to watch movies with him, which I think is ridiculous. But again, the guy has made a lot of money. He's helped a lot of people. I have not learned a lot from the guy. I wouldn't lump him in with these guys who I really respect. But you gotta, okay, we'll see how the SEC thing goes. Who knows? Hopefully I don't get proven wrong and it's just, a mistake. And now we have Kira Henderson. And so you can see that this is her here. She is the Black Queen, making over $100 million in trucking without a driver's license. So she claims to have made $100 million in her trucking business, but public records show very few trucks, actually. She's an ex-felon, sued for scams, history of evictions, and exposed by Spencer Cornelia. So this is going to be our very first scammer. Now, obviously, this is for information purposes, entertainment purposes only, blah, blah, blah. Don't sue me, please. Next, we have Leila. So this lovely lady is the wife of Alex Hormozi. I'm sure many of you know her. She is the people person of acquisition.com, and Alex talks about how she is the reason that he is a better person. And so I, at the moment in my life, am sort of looking for my Leila Hormozi to help me become a better person and teach me all of the soft, sweet things that I need to be doing in life. Personally, I have not learned a ton from Leila. I've got a lot of time and respect for her. I think what she's doing is fantastic, but I'm going to put her in the B tier just because I don't know if she's much of a guru. I think she's a great leader. She is a fantastic internet personality. She looks like a cool person, but that's where we're going to go. Next up, we got Brunson. So I'm going to put Brunson, I'm going to put him in the A tier only because it's difficult, because the guy obviously is one of the best marketers in the world, if not like top 3. I have learned a lot from him. I have gone through expert secrets, .com secrets, traffic secrets, but there's something about the way that he teaches which doesn't stick with me nearly as well as some of the other guys do. It feels slightly inauthentic. And then ClickFunnels was great product, I guess, but it became the epitome of a scammy funnel. It was a ClickFunnels funnel. And so, the guy's worth hundreds of millions of dollars, worked with some of the greatest people in the world, one of the greatest marketers in the world, but to me, he's not one of the GOATs. Then we got Luke Belmar here, who I think has a lot of really interesting, controversial takes, and he knows how to manipulate you online and create content that goes viral. I met a guy the other day, a couple weeks ago, who is best mates with Luke Belmar and talks about how the inner workings of the content machine is kind of it's all done on purpose, right? I think a lot of us believe that these people are just existing in the world, and then they're being captured on video, and then they're just accidentally going viral. But these people, like, take it from me, somebody that's making a tiny, tiny slither of content compared to these guys, and they're thousands of pieces of content a week. Everything is incredibly intentional. And so I'm not going to put him with these guys who are, they've done some interesting stuff, but I've not really learned anything from. I think he has some really interesting stuff around the matrix and money in general, and, all that kind of stuff, fractional reserve banking. And I think he's helped a lot of young people. And so, yeah. Robert Kiyosaki. This is an interesting one. So I first got my start in entrepreneurship through Robert Kiyosaki here, reading Rich Dad, Poor Dad, as many of you have. And it's a fantastic book, and it completely changed the way that I approached business and life in general. There have been allegations that he didn't make all of his money from real estate, and he made most of it from the book and, manufacturing a bunch of stuff. And every time I see him now, he talks about Bitcoin and selling and buying silver and gold. And I think he is a great marketer, and he is a great writer, but I don't know what you guys think. I kind of see him sitting somewhere between here and here. And so, as strange as it is, I feel like I'm going to put Luke Belmar above Robert Kiyosaki here. And I'm going to put Kiyosaki in the D tier. Which is like strange. It's odd for me to do that because, you know, I've had his Rich Dad Poor Dad book on my shelf for so many years and I've recommended it to so many people. But other than that, what else has he contributed and what else have I learned? What else have I gleaned? I don't know. Maybe he's just not so much on social media anymore and he's buying oil wells and a bunch of other random things. All right, next up we have Grant Cardone. So this guy operates on a level that is just unfathomable to me. Obviously, he advised Alex Hormozi on a whole bunch of stuff, and Alex found tons of value in it. I have not really gotten any value from Grant. A lot of people call him a scammer. I've not seen anything that's... I mean, he's a Scientologist, isn't he? But so is Tom Cruise. All right, so we're going to put him in the D tier. Whatever. Yeah, I guess we're going to have to pop him in D tier. We got Sabri Suby here, who I'm tempted to put him in God tier and goat tier, but I think he belongs in A tier. So if you go through his Sell Like Crazy book, it is one of the best marketing books ever created, just like Traffic Secrets, ExpertSecrets.com Secrets is here. It's kind of like he hasn't got nearly enough notoriety for Sell Like Crazy. I do think, though, given the fact that he's Australian and he's a little odd, so I'm from New Zealand, and the fact that he's Australian, I don't know. You know, New Zealand and Australia famously have a sort of sibling rivalry that, you know, is not really real, but it is what it is. Anyway, I don't think he can go into GOAT tier with Ovens, but we're going to put him there. Next up, we have... I've forgotten this woman's name. One second. Cody Sanchez, of course. So she has a real portfolio of really boring businesses and owns cash flow operations. She over-romanticizes small business acquisition. Many people call her the Hormozi for small business. I think she's a solid operator. I don't think she fits into these other tiers. I've learned literally nothing from her. Don't know a ton about the girl. I just know that, you know, she makes content that is not valuable to me. Next up, we've got Patrick Bet-David, who his story is really interesting because, like, how he made his money, and his father got sick and all the rest of it, and sort of my journey started similarly that I haven't really talked about before. But yeah, and then the other day I heard some people talking about, oh, but he did this gigantic fraud. So I don't know any details about that. He made his money in insurance. The guy is a media empire genius. You know, so we're gonna pop him here. Then we've got Alex Becker. This guy is such a Fruit Loop, but his videos, for me personally, have been some of the most, if not the most impactful in my business journey and in my life and in my in my entrepreneurial journey, and maybe actually to a detriment, because the whole idea of dopamine detox and monk mode and like work, don't stop, oh, you're gonna die, keep going, work, kind of come from him, you know, where he's like, I am the empty house woke empty house guy who you know, sold all his stuff. He just eats chicken breast and spinach, and that's why he's successful. And I'm like, I can do that. I want it so bad that I can do that. So saying that, I think his videos have been incredibly impactful to me. I'm going to pop him in the A tier. here because just that's where I feel like he sits. Now we've got Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate, the most Googled man in the world. The people hate him, love him. I have a friend who's a diehard fan, and I've got other friends who absolutely hate him. They wouldn't dare. They'd watch this and they're typing in the comments right now. Oh, Andrew Tate, I hate Andrew Tate. He's a scammer and he's a terrible human being and he traffics people. And listen, the guy single-handedly brought masculinity to the front of conversation again, and a lot of his ventures are misguided and borderline psychopathic sometimes, but you do not get to being the most Googled man in the world with at least tens of millions. I don't believe he's got billions, but you don't get to that level without knowing what you're doing. I've seen him talk. Nobody can argue against him. Nobody can stump him. The guy's got too much testosterone. And so, while I don't think he belongs in A tier, I don't know if he belongs here because I haven't learned a ton from him. I don't think I would call him a scammer, personally. However, this chap I would call a scammer, which is sad because Kevin David, if you don't know, back in the day, sold a whole bunch of, he called himself the unemployed CEO. He had Amazon FBA, crypto courses, Shopify dropshipping courses, Facebook ad courses, and crazy enough, I learned how to run Facebook ads from this guy's course. So I downloaded the course and I went through it step by step, and it helped me understand how to structure my Facebook ads manager, how to get going, and I made hundreds of thousands of dollars kind of thanks to this guy. But he has been ordered to pay $53 million in reparations, or anyway, CoffeeZilla did a expose on him. He's an outed scammer. His career is over. And so, unfortunately, Kevin, you are going to go in the scammer column. As sad as that is, even though you have personally helped me. It's just one of those things that Hormozi talks about. Even the people who are scammers, he's learned stuff from. This is just an example of that. And then we have the one, the only Alex Hormozi, and could he possibly go anywhere else except GOAT tier? We're going to put him even ahead of, Ovens over here, even though Ovens came before him. You can't tell by these photos because Ovens now looks like a shaggy old man who's lived in a cave for 25 years. I guess so does Alex Hormozi. But Hormozi has absolutely changed my life. Many of you on this channel are massive fans of Hormozi. If you are a diehard Hormozi fan, hit the like button. Let me know. And if you want to see me break down Alex Hormozi's principles on something as beautiful and simple as the most popular video, one of the most popular videos that I've had of Alex Hormozi breaking down his playbooks, which are behind me here, was around the hooks, the ad hooks that he's done. So I reveal his top 50 ad hooks, and I've created the video. It's on the screen for you right here. Click the video on the screen to watch. Click the thing on the screen to watch that video. And thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Click that video. Click it. Click it.